Hi everyone, welcome back to the ranch at Chez Temescal. It is another edition of Bone Quarantine, and it is a third night of Hanukkah edition of Bone Quarantine. We're really glad you're along with us, and tonight we're going to be keeping with the Hanukkah theme by frying in oil. We're going to be making cast iron apple fritters. Very, very simple recipe to do, absolutely delicious, and let's go ahead and get started with the ingredients. All right. So we have 2 Granny Smith apples that have been cored and cut into 1/4-inch pieces. Then we've got 2 cups of flour. We've got 1/3 cup of granulated sugar, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt. Then we've got 1½ teaspoons of ground cinnamon that's been divided. We have 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg that's been divided. And then we're using apple cider for our liquid. This is sparkling apple cider that we're going to use. And that's going to be roughly 1 cup that will also be divided. Then we got 2 large eggs, 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter that has been melted and then allowed to cool. And then we got 2 cups of confectioner's sugar. Go ahead and put into a bowl our dry ingredients here. So we have our flour, our sugar, the baking powder, salt, and then part of our divided cinnamon and our divided nutmeg. All there. And let's just give this a nice whisk together, get it all combined. Okay, now that this has been whisked together, I'm going to take our apples and we're going to pour it right into this flour mixture. And then I'm going to give it a nice stir to combine. All right, now we're going to set this aside. And in another bowl, we're going to take our eggs and our butter. And now, for the fun part, we need 3/4 of a cup of our sparkling cider. Okay, get that open there. Okay, so 3/4 of a cup. And by the way, you know, you can also use like a apple orchard or some sort of distilled sparkling cider as well, or you can use beer if you want. Okay, so got that there, and to this mixture now, I'm going to add cider, and let's give it a good mix. Okay, then bring our apples back over, and we're just going to put the fluid right in with the dry, and then we're going to mix it until it's thoroughly combined. So our batter is very well mixed. There's no more pockets of dry, and so let's go ahead and get started on the glaze. So here is our confectioner's sugar and the cinnamon and the nutmeg, and we're going to give this a quick whisk. Okay, and then we're going to need another 1/4 cup there we go, of our sparkling cider. Okay, and all we're going to do is we're going to kind of give this a quick mix. All right, looks like our glaze is all combined and ready to go. So now next is we're ready to start making our apple fritters. Okay, so what we want to do is, first of all, we have our oil, and I'm reading our thermometer here, and it is setting at about 325 degrees, which is where we want it. Measuring cup. And what you need to do with this, though, is you do need to spray it, because this is a very sticky batter. Let them go. And so it's going to be a couple of minutes on each side until they're actually just nice and golden brown. All right, we are back. First batch is done. It is in the oven, keeping warm. After I transferred it to a paper towel on a wire rack and put it in the oven, it is now keeping warm at 200 degrees. Now, this is the remaining 4 fritters I was able to get out of the batter. And these are just about done. Oh yeah. Okay, so what I want to do with these is I want to transfer these to this wire rack that has a paper towel on it. So while they're draining, I'm going to go ahead and get our first batch out of the oven. Give those a minute to drain. I'm going to go ahead and start with our glaze. So get ourselves a good teaspoon measure and just kind of drizzle it over the top and let it drip down. 4. Let's go ahead again, put our glaze on top, just kind of smoosh it around there a little bit. So let's give one a try. Let's see, how about this one? If you noticed, I didn't peel the Granny Smith apples, but most people prefer this recipe with the apples peeled.
Oh, that's good.
So give it a try either way and see which way you like it best.
A chunk of apple. Nice crunchy exterior. The apples and the glaze on top. This is really good. Huh.
Something to think about here with the apple fritters
is it's crispy on the outside, but the inside is nicely done and fluffy. The chunks of apple, the glaze on top, but it's not overly sweet, and just a nice recipe all the way around. So this has been cast iron apple fritters here at the ranch at Chez Temescal. Another edition of Bone Quarantine. We're so glad that you tuned in, and again, keep the recipe ideas coming. Keep letting us know what you think of the show. Make sure your friends subscribe and like our YouTube page. And as we're closing out the third night of Hanukkah here at the ranch at Chez Temescal, I want to again say thanks again to all of you for watching, and have an amazing day. All right, bye everyone.